If you're a wildlife photographer and you got yourself a new lens, there's one addition you can add to this lens that's going to make it much, much better. And it's inside this box. So let's talk about it. So what's inside this box? Let's open it up and show you what we got. And it's something I add to all my lenses, every one of them. Just got this in the mail today and real happy to add this to my, actually going to add it to my 180 to 600 Z lens here. We're going to add it to it. So let's get it out of here. There's part one. And there's part two. It is a replacement lens hood and cap. I add this to all my lenses, and we'll show you why here in just a second. But these are from Zemlin. Carl Zemlin makes these from Zemlin Photo, and these things are fantastic. I have on all my lenses. The only lens I didn't have one on was a Nikon Z 180 to 600. And I've been meaning to add this on here for a very, very long time. And let me show you why. So for starters, for the 400-2.8, and we'll leave it this way backwards for now to see it. It's one, for a big lens like this one, it's the length of the hood. The length of the hood on the 400-2.8 with the original one is about this long, almost to the ring here if you got it going backwards. So if it was attached, it's about that long. With this guy attached, it's only about that long. Let me go ahead and just set this around the correct way. So now, there's my lens hood. And the other hood is twice as long. So for starters, this saves me space to put in my bag. And the second thing is the durability of this hood. The hood on your big primes have a screw on every one of them. It's a weird design, but it works. But this one, when you put it on, it just collapses. It just kind of clicks on and it's there. It's on well. And then also, you have a lens cap. These are fantastic. Your big primes don't have lens caps. Now that's for your big primes. Get this back in here, set that aside. And you might say, why would I want it for the 180-600? Because, you know, it's not as long. And we'll take it off here. Well, there's a reason why. And it's this. It's a good hood. This one's better than the Canon 200-800, which is really flimsy, but this still is got a lot of give to it. And I've only had this pop off a few times, and the times I have it pop off when it's in the bag or it's against something else, and it will pop off, and it is more flexible. It's just not as stiff and rigid. And it does have the tab you have to keep pushing to get on here. When you have a cover on it like this, I always got to find the tab. I probably should cut a notch right there where that tab is. And that's the first part. And it's a decent hood for the Nikon one, but it's still just a little flimsy. And the second thing about it is the lens caps. They're pretty small and flimsy. For the Zemlin lens cap, let's get it out real quick. And the Zemlin lens cap is tough. It's thicker. It's more, it's a tough little booger. The thing about the Zemlin stuff is you're not going to tear them up. There's actually screws in here. They are really good. The clasp are in the center only on this one, not on the outside, in the center. With your normal Canon, Nikon, Sony ones, the tabs are on the outside. You can squeeze it from the middle too. A lot of people do. But we have a tendency, all those photographers, is grabbing it from the outside. I don't know why. Don't squeeze it from the middle. So a lot of times if you go from the outside, your fingers hit, so you got to go to the middle, and you put it on there, and it just kind of meets funny sometimes. And after I put one of these on, the traditional caps, OEM caps, I always kind of tap them and make sure they're on there. The Zemlin cap, I just squeeze it, drop it on there. It actually clicks in place. So when you put it in there, you can hear it click. And that's just the way the tabs are. They're really kind of big grooved and they snap in there. And I know what's on there. And then you can't really, with these, the Nikon ones, the Canon ones, when you have these tabs on the outside, here, this is the flaw of these. When you put it on there, you can always bump the outside with something. You can hit these tabs here. You can bump them against things, and guess what? They go flying off. The Zemlin, when you put it on there, it is flat and kind of got an angle to it, you can see. It's got a little bit of a, kind of even just concave. So when you hit the side, you can't get this guy off by going to the side of it. You can't. So when you've got it in your case, like with these, your traditional ones, these always come off in my case a lot of times if I don't have a lens hood on it, because they bump that side squeeze part. And this one, you can't do that. So this is not going to come off unless you squeeze the middle to take it off. That's what I like about them. Now let's get the hood out and talk about the hood real quick. All right, there's the instructions on how to do it. I know how to do this. I've done it many times. That, and here we go. Right. So Carl sends you sweet tarts with every order too, which is kind of nice, and card and reorder information. Get this out of the way, get that out of the way. Now what you get in the bag, you get a prep cloth, and you get a little Allen wrench and a screw in here, and you're going to need that to put this guy on. But this is the Zemlin hood right here. Now you'll see the orange on here and on the cap. You can get that in clear or orange. I get it in orange so I can find it in my bags and my vehicle, because vehicles, the floors, like my Bronco, it's all black. The floors, you know, of things, your environments a lot of times have dark areas. With this orange ring, it's really easy to find both of them. Like the Nikon cap, luckily it says Nikon on it. Sometimes you get some third-party ones that are just black. Well, this orange ring makes it easy to find. But this hood, you cannot squeeze it. I mean, if I put a lot of force on there, I can squeeze it, but it is thick, tough. That ring right there, that rubber ring compared to this one here, this is just plastic. So it slides around. The rubber ring one, it grabs. So it's not going to slide around on a smooth surface, and kind of gives a touch of cushion, that little rubber ring on there. It's really nice. Before we go any further, I want to give a thanks to our sponsor of this video, which is DxO. DxO has several pieces of software for us photographers. One of them is PhotoLab 9. If you don't have more subscriptions from Adobe with Lightroom and Photoshop, you can use PhotoLab 9. It would replace that. The big piece of software that I use all the time is DxO Pure Raw 5. It is a pre-processing software that I use when I go for my camera before I go into Lightroom. And what it does, it gets the photos looking just back like what Canon, Nikon, or Sony meant for your camera to look like, with the noise, the sharpness, and the colors, all the image quality things that you care about, and does the camera corrections. It loads all the camera profiles and the lens profiles and even your extended profiles into it to make your image look much, much better. And that's a great piece of software. It's one that I really cannot live without when I'm going to edit. And now back to the video. I'm going to show you how to install this lens hood in just a second, but I want to first talk about where to go and how to order and what to order when you get one of these lens hoods, because there's several lens hoods for each lens model on Zemlin's site. We're first going to go to zemlinphoto.com. You're going to pull that up, and up the top you're going to see where it says hoods. Click that, and in that list you're going to find which lens manufacturer will do. Canon, Nikon, Sony, Fuji, things like that. So we're going to click Nikon here. It's going to take you to Nikon lens hoods. Then I'm going to click on the telephoto. You can see you also have primes in here, but you also have the telephoto. You click the telephoto one, and that's going to take you to all the different lens hoods you can see on there. What you're going to see is different sizes of these lens hoods. The one I ordered is a 65 millimeter. There's another one on there which is a 95 millimeter. So you can see the difference in these 10 lens hoods, the size of them real quickly. So the 95 one's going to replace exactly what kind of size that Nikon has. 65 is shorter. I want it a little shorter so I can fit it in my bag a little easier. The 95 is kind of where Nikon says, hey, this is what you need for light leaks. I don't worry too much about light leaks. The shorter lens hoods, like with my 400 prime and this one, it'll work great for me. You'll see there's even a shorter one than this one, a smaller one. And then you'll see ones that are in two pieces. Now, what are those? Well, I talked to Carl about that with the two-piece ones, got his input on what the two-piece were. So the two-piece ones are when you want to have a longer lens hood, say this one or even longer this one, because some people want even a longer lens hood than that for they shoot in a lot of, backlit situations. They want a longer lens hood. So those two-piece ones, what they do is it makes the lens break up in two pieces. So it actually telescopes. So you would have something, that would you put them together to make one longer lens. And that's what they are. And then they collapse to be space saving in your bag. So instead of having it even backward facing going way back in the lens, you collapse them to basically something about the size of this. And the same way when you've got it telescoped out, so you have it on the end of the lens cap here, like this, and when you want to put it in your bag, you can collapse them down to make more space savings with the lens hood on inside the bag. So that's what the two-piece ones are for. And I know a lot of people that have commented on the video said they have the two-piece ones is what they use for their situation, just for space savings and to get a longer lens hood for reducing light leaks and, lens flare and things like that. For me, we're cloudy a lot of times and I don't need that longer lens hood. I just want the shortest one basically so I can put my lens down to the ground like that a lot of times just to keep the lens element, because mine is more about protecting the lens element than, protecting the light leaks and things like that, or save myself from those. Anyway, that's what the difference in the lens hoods are. So kind of pick the length you want and there you go. Now, when you order, the next thing is with the ring. They have a clear ring. They have no ring, which I wouldn't do because no ring gets you back to this where we're sliding around. But this little ring here, you can get it clear orange. And that's what I do, again, because I like it because it kind of cushions and it keeps it from sliding around on surfaces like this. It gives it a bit of a grip. Then you can also get the lens cap. So the next option down below, you can add the lens cap on it and you pair them together, it saves you a lot of money. And these are, again, fantastic lens caps. They are just tough along with this thing. That's where I really love them. And that's all you do to order. You get it right quick. I believe this setup here, these two pieces with this was like $189. Yes, it is a little pricey, and not extremely pricey. If you go to, look at replacing one of these, it's not much more. And this is so much better quality, really just fantastic quality. So now let's get into installing this lens hood on the Nikon Z180-600. So the first thing you do is inside here, you'll see there's a little bit of a ring in here, this little inside ring. So all you do is grab that guy and you pop it out. With this 180-600, this is a little easier to do, and it's just only one ring. With the 400 primes, the bigger primes, when you pop these out, there's actually a container ring in there that kind of holds, make sure this thing stays where it needs to be. And you have this extra little ring here. And this ring here is what's going to go on your lens. Next thing you do is grab the little pack you had here. Inside here, there's an Allen key, and there's also an extra screw. So we'll talk about the screw here in a second. Get this Allen wrench out of here. And it also includes a cleaning cloth and a Zemlin photo sticker if you want to put stickers on anything. So let's put this away. Inside here's an extra screw, and we'll talk about it in just a second. What is that? So if you look right in here, on this piece here, this is where everything meets. And it's got a little screw in here. That's where that extra screw is in case you lose this one. So this screw here, you use long Allen wrench. You're going to get in here and you're going to unscrew this guy. Because this is going to go on the outside of our lens. This is what the lens hood's going to attach to. Now that we got this all the way out, what you want to notice on here is you have this notch on here. So you have a notch coming in this way, and then lock in here. That's the lock. So as this comes on, you want this lens hood to come this direction. There's a little tab in here. So you want to make sure that notch is facing away from the lens. Okay, when you're putting this on here, on the back of this little ring, you'll see there's also grooves in here. And on outside the lens, you have a little bump out here. Little bitty one right here. Bumps out just a little bit. It's a little notch, about a fifth of the way around, and that's what this latches onto. So inside here you have little tunnel grooves in this guy, and those little tunnel grooves right there, they go right on that same little latch. So if you just line that up, it will just snap right in there, and you'll know you got it right because if you just lightly wiggle it, you'll feel it clicking like that. So now what we need to do is take our little screw. We're going to put it right back in that little slot. And we're going to tighten this guy down. Now you don't want to close it all the way. You're going to get close. But what you want to do now is you want to see how tight this is. So If you want this thing really, really tight, you kind of loosen that little screw up right there. If you want it a little looser to pop off easier, now it's going to lock in when you get it there. Not saying it's going to pop off of here. But if you want to get it easier, then you tighten that down a little bit more. I've got my 400 really tight. So go in here and let's test it. You know what? That was pretty good. Right there is really good. I got lucky the first time. The 400 I kind of had to mess with a little bit. Once you got it there, you're done. Now all you got to do is run this back up. Put our lens cap back on it. Then we put our hood on there. And the hood is very simple. You have little tabs inside here, little notches right there. All you do is line those notches up with the notch on the collar. You'll see them, they're very evident. Put on there, click it, done. That's it. You are done. You now have your Zemlin lens hood attached. And it's much shorter than that one. Look at that. Much shorter. So I'm saving myself, you know, not quite a little bit, 1.5 inches, not quite 2 inches. But the other thing is, with this one, it slides around this guy. It doesn't slide. But like I said in the intro, this is one addition you can add to your lens that's going to make it much tougher, much better, going to last longer in the field. You're not going to worry about this thing coming off. This lens hood will not come off like this one does, and the lens cap is not going to come off like the original one does. These guys are fantastic. So now I have it on my 18600, I got it on my 400 prime, I've got it on my 7200. The only lens I do not have it on right now is the 200-800, so I need to order another one, send it down to Don so he can put it on his 2-800 because that lens hood is flimsy. But I love it. I love having that on here now with this lens. With this one, it just always bugs me because these guys are always popping off. This one doesn't pop up as much, the 2-800, but it does pop off from time to time. Then I've dropped it, had to go back and find it. But that's installed. Real quick video for you guys today about these Zemlin hoods. I love them. Any of you out there that use them, please leave in the comment, say what you think about the ones that you put on yours. Let me know what you think of these Zemlin hoods. I think they're fantastic. Best piece I can put on here besides putting the lens cover and putting on a air tag. That's the best way to go for your lenses. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. And until next time I see you guys, get outside and go run that shutter.